Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya We are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, verse 2 and 3. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, my companion and my teacher, O my great wealth and deliverer, O my good fortune and bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. I guess we have verse number 3 on the board.
No, we had one from yesterday.
Okay, then we can. I will just recite it myself. So verse 2, I will just read the Sanskrit. Actually, we'll read the Sanskrit of verse 3. I think it's the most important one. So verse 2 is translation. O Maharaj Parikshit, the demigods were related to Vishvarup from his father's side, and therefore he visibly offered clarified butter in the fire while chanting mantras such as Indraya Idam Svaha, this is meant for King Indra, and Idam Agyaye, this is for the demigod of fire. He loudly chanted those mantras and offered each of the demigod his proper share. Verse 3. Saeva hi tadobhagam paroksham asuran prati yajamano vahabhagam matri sneha vasanuga. Maybe repeat after me. Saha hi Vishvarup. Eva, indeed. He, certainly. Dadao, offered. Bhagam, share. Paroksham, without the knowledge of the demigods. Asuran, the demons. Prati, unto. Yajamana, performing sacrifice. Avahat, offered. Bhagam, share. Matrisneha, by affection for his mother. Vasaha anuga, being compelled. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although offering clarified butter in the sacrificial fire in the name of the demigods, without the knowledge of the demigods, he also offered oblation to the demons, because they were his relatives through his mother. Purport. Because of Vishvarup's affection for the families of both the demigods and the demons, he appeased the Supreme Lord on behalf of both dynasties. When he offered oblation in the fire on behalf of the Asuras, he did so secretly, without the knowledge of the demigods. If you want, you can join me with prayers. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakoya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmei Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svaparantikam E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Mandama Tergati Matsarvasva Padam Pujo Radha Madana Mohano Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master, with the torchlight of knowledge, has opened my eyes. Therefore, I offer him my respectful obeisances. So, we are in the chapter called The Appearance of the Demon, Vritasura, which is one very, very important story in Srimad Bhagavatam. It comes right at the middle of Srimad Bhagavatam. Right, sixth canto, middle of sixth canto, and come this story of Vritasura, which is very, very important one. And we remember that there was an offense had been made by Indra toward Brihaspati, his spiritual master, and Brihaspati had left, and then Indra felt, okay, now it will get heavy time. So they found another priest, because Brihaspati just disappeared. They could not find him, so they found another priest, Vishvarupa, who is quite of a special personality, because his father was from the Devas, the demigods, and his mother was from the side of the demons. And we heard yesterday he had 3 heads. One, he was drinking soma, or amrita, or nectar, and with the other mouth he was drinking wine, and with the other mouth he was eating. So we can see also demons and demigods. He had one head for each side, one for drinking nectar, one for drinking wine. And so now he is doing the yagya, And now it starts to get intense. There is some unauspiciousness into the yagya because he is actually reciting the name of the demigods while doing the yagya, but he is also offering that to the demons at the same time. And he's doing that without the demigods noticing it. So he's actually hiding, he's actually cheating, he's actually doing something in the back. And I wanted to address today this topic of cheating tendency that is there in actually all living entities, that we want it or not. The tendency is there. So I hope with this lecture that we will become more aware when we are cheating, when we are cheaters, and also become more honest with ourselves. So it's a little hot topic. It's quite it's touching an area that often we also want to hide. So it's a little bit revealing. And I had, that's a topic I could speak hours, because I'm a very expert in cheating and in hiding things on the side. So I have many experience, many stories, many thoughts on this. But I hope also by doing this service of giving this lecture, I will also get purified and get also this awareness of being able to notice when actually we are in the wrong track, when we are actually trying to hide or play a role in front of others. So we will see about what is the meaning of cheating. We will see how it manifests, what are the mechanisms that push us to become cheaters, and at the end, how to deal with this tendency. So we hear that actually there are 4 defects in the living entities, and cheating is one of them. And it's interesting how it's mentioned. There is the 2 first is actually that we have imperfect senses and that we are prone to illusion. And then because of that, we are going to make mistakes. And then when we make mistakes, we will cheat because we will hide. We will try to cover up our mistakes, and then we are pushed to do the cheating one. So those tendencies are there actually in the heart of all living entities. And I thought actually in the beginning of the lecture to ask, who of you is a cheater? And I thought many will hesitate to put, because everyone actually have the desire to be honest and to be good persons. But yeah, we could all put our hands up, because even against our will, just the mechanism of the mind and the false ego are just very often pushing us in doing some cheating against our will. So what is the meaning of cheating? Is actually outwardly we do something, but inside we have another agenda. We want to do it we want something else. So we act in a certain way, but inside we have another plan. Like what was his name? Vishvarupa. Huh? He was doing the yaga for the demigod, but inside he had the desire. Oh, okay, I will also give to the demigods. So for the devotees, it can be translated that as outwardly we serve Krishna, but inside we have another agenda. We externally we do service, we do everything, but internally we want something else than actually pleasing Krishna. What we want, it's called a pad, P-A-D, which stands for profit, adoration, and distinction. So that's what actually come all the time. These are the main drive that push us to be into the cheating field, the things that we actually want for ourselves. Bhakti Chaitanya Swami gives some example of how that manifests in the life of devotees. And for example, he explained of a brahmachari, or a person who is in the renounce order, but internally he meditates on the opposite sex. or on the Grihastha who will be too renounced and push his whole family member to be extremely renounced, even though the Grihastha ashram give license for a certain need of comfort and harmony into the family. Another example is to take position, but without taking the responsibility for the position. One take a position of a certain post in life just for, again, for recognition, but one is actually not taking the responsibility to fulfill the position. And in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaks about that, and he explains who is a pretender, who is duplicitous, who is actually a cheater. Anyone guess which verse of Bhagavad Gita it is? It's actually exactly on the same topic. It's Bhagavad Gita 3:6. Krishna says, one who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense object, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Huh? So this is also very often happening when in the life of a devotee, when we make a show that we are more advanced than what we are. Actually, we want to impress others. We want to be recognized, so we make a show how good we are in the aim of receiving this recognition. There was actually a story when I mentioned it already sometimes, but I was traveling with my spiritual master, and one evening he asked me to lead bhajan. There was a ceremony, and he was doing yagya, and at the end he told me, "Oh, you sang very nicely your bhajan," and I was surprised that he praised me, and I said, "But thank you, thank you." Oh, super, I was singing nicely. And then he said, but you should learn to sing for Krishna and not for yourself. And there it became clear, actually, yes, I'm chanting, I'm doing the activity of devotional service, but what is really my aim? My aim was, may all the devotees here love me and appreciate me and recognize how good I am. That was in my mind while I was leading kirtan. And then I understood I'm actually stealing away. What is meant for Krishna's pleasure, I'm just taking it for myself. I'm trying. And I noticed this is actually abominable. This is actually, I'm acting like an enemy of Krishna. I'm taking what is supposed to go for Krishna, I'm taking it for myself. So this is actually a very common way that happened to most of the devotees in the heart, that even though we do spiritual activities, we actually want to take the result for ourselves, and we don't want to give it to Krishna, we want it for us. And this is a tendency that we can actually, I hope this lecture will give us some desire to be more introspective into our motivations and try as much as possible to avoid this tendency. There is actually, but this happened to everyone. As we progress, as we become more mature, we need to become more alert to this trap and be able to actually overcome this cheating tendency. There is an amazing verse in Bhagavatam. It's actually not a verse, it's quoted in the purport, and this is a comment of Sridhar Swami on the verse. Who is Sridhar Swami is one of the main commentators of Srimad Bhagavatam, very, very advanced soul. So listen to that, it's very interesting how he's right. Sridhar Swami writes, the hypocrite who cheat himself by a pretense of renunciation think only of sense enjoyment and then suffer constantly. Bewildered day and night, he is overwhelmed by the exhausting endeavor he plans for himself. So he's just so overwhelmed by the plan he is making himself. This fool disobey your law, my Lord, and is corrupted by greed for respect from other fools. O protector of the fallen, Lord Krishna, O bestower of mercy, O supremely blissful master, please save that person, myself. Huh? Sridhar Swami, the commentator, he explained what is really the pretender, how bad the pretender is. And then he ends by saying, "My Lord, please save this pretender myself." Yeah, that's commentary. That's I think in this section it could be that's the prayers of the Veda personified chapter, and he at each verse he has a prayer connected to the verses, and the BBT commentator they always bring this verse of Sridhar Swami, and that's really, and that shows actually this is a tendency that is there for a long time in the hearts of the devotees, and devotees ask the Lord for help to be, for this tendency to be removed. There was this story also in the, not sure in which canto, if it's fourth canto, could be the story of Prithu Maharaj, who was a great king and wanted to do 100 horse sacrifices. And when he came to the 99 horse sacrifice, Indra became very fearful that his position would be taken away. So he disguised himself as a saintly person and he came to steal the horse. And the son of Prithu saw that and he ran after Indra, ready to kill him. "Hey, you are stealing the horse." And then he saw, because he was dressed like a renunciant, the son of Prithu said, "Oh, maybe I should not do anything. I will get bad reaction if I do something to a saintly person." So then he let him go. And then Prithu said, "Oh, come on." So they found another horse. They were ready to do the sacrifice. And one more time, Indra started to put some fog and mystic power and just took the horse away. And then Prithu became very, very disturbed and said, "Okay, this Indra will kill him." So he said to the priest, "You chant mantra and you invite him to come and fall into the fire and he will die on the fire." And then Brahma came and said, no, don't do that. You cannot kill Indra. That will be a little too much. And then it's interesting, Brahma told Prithu Maharaj, be satisfied with 99 horse sacrifice. Don't do the 101. Leave the position to Indra and stop it there and make it everything peaceful. So that's the story, but that's also an illustration from Shastra where Indra was just so much infatuated by his own position, and his own distinction and honor that he was getting, that he just could not tolerate someone else would have the same, and then he also cheated. He also disguised himself to steal the horse. So now how it manifests? I mean, one way we saw about trying to cover up mistakes. We do mistake, but we try to hide them. The idea is always we want to appear very good, very, very nice, very the best in front of others, with the subtle desire to be recognized, to be loved, actually, to be accepted, to be loved. And so this tendency is totally connected to the false ego, to the false identification of the self. And from the false ego, actually, all the anarthas and all the bad stuff is actually connected to that. The false ego is actually at the roots. So we want affection, we want attention, we are ready to try everything and anything to get it. And for that, we are cheating. We try to present ourselves in the best way and hide when we are not so good. So this is actually a wrong strategy to get loved by others. And often what is happening is we make a fool of ourselves, because most of the time everyone can notice when we are cheating. Often, and my spiritual master was saying in a lecture that from a spiritual perspective, we can see some devotee are playing the role of being advanced. That role makes everybody laugh, because factually we are just part and parcels of Krishna. So, because as a fact we are just insignificant. So this attempt of making ourselves be very advanced is actually making laugh everyone. It's just not going to work. I was noticing here a little bit about my experience. We were just now in Simachalam for Nishinga Chaturdasi, and I had quite some insight about this false ego and how painful experience it is to be actually connected to the false ego, because especially when you are in the middle of many people that you know, there is so much pressure from the false ego in trying to play the role that you are good. And then you meet people and people ask you something and you start to think, okay, what should I answer so that I will appear good? So, and I noticed I met Vaidyanatha Prabhu, and he said, oh, now you are not anymore temple president. How is it going in Golokadam? And my first reaction was, oh, I still manage. I still manage festival. I still manage guest house. And then I just observe myself. And I say, what's going on here? I want to show him I'm still valuable. I'm still doing good. I'm still doing a lot. And I notice, come on, Gorari, you don't need that. You don't need to show off. You don't need to show others how good you are. This is actually the false ego. You don't need that. What is important is actually your love and devotion to Krishna. You don't need to show up or tell everyone how good you do. Oh, come on. And I notice how much energy it takes when you are in connection with other people to plan what I will say, how I will present myself, how I will show myself, what disgusting play that we have to pay to play, just pushed by the force of this false ego. For me it was just like a mirror in front of me, and I notice I often actually like to be alone. And I notice actually one of the reasons is when I'm alone, I'm not forced or pushed to play a role. When I'm in with other people, then this tendency comes, and I just notice how painful it is. And I could really pray to Lord Nishingadev, please help me to get rid of that. I don't need. So from the spiritual perspective, Krishna loves me the way I am, even if I'm not pure. And all those roles is not there that I will get the happiness I'm looking for. This is the wrong address. This is actually the illusory energy pushing me to do all of that. And there is I found an article from Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati where he speaks a little bit about that. I would like to read this, quite short. He said, those who are ideal and fond of sense gratification, they accept the conventional path of birth and death as being thornless. So those who are very much for sense gratification, they think the path of birth and death is okay. No problem. While accepting support from their blind followers, so they accept the help of all the blind followers. So that's one type of people. Then another type, they are fully absorbed in the bliss of their own spiritual practice while maintaining an attitude of indifference regarding the welfare of others. So that's another type. And then the third type, they imitate genuine practitioner while desiring fame and sense pleasure, thus cheating themselves and others. So here he put three type of person: the one who are fully for sense gratification, the one who want all the pleasure of their spiritual practice for themselves, but they don't care for the benefit of other people, and the other one who just make a show of being advanced to get recognition for others. Almost all those people are very lazy and unauthorized. Of the three classes of people mentioned above, the first and third are completely duplicitous, desiring sense gratification and being afraid of righteous people. So the only one that is still quite okay is the one who wants to have pleasure for his own practice and don't care for others. This one is still okay, but the two others are worse, let's say. Such a person belongs to a society of people who are averse to Krishna while externally posing as devotee. For such a person, pleasing godless people is the aim of life and the object of their satisfaction. They never have to face harassment from ordinary people. You know this tendency? You try to be good with everyone just to avoid that that you will get any bad vibration from them. You just want to please them just to be peaceful. They are simply busy trying to please everyone so as to earn wealth and attract women. So this all is a little bit intense, all those things. But it jumped on my face also some times ago. It was actually, we were still in the Corona time, and I was in charge of festivals. So we can have only 20 guests or something like this. So I had devotee calling me, oh, we are coming. And I was sorry, you cannot come. It's just not possible. The festival is closed. So I had to confront devotee, and I noticed that devotee will not love me. They were angry at me, actually, that I would dare to tell them they cannot come. And it was so painful. And then I told our temple president, okay, now whoever asks, I will send them to you. You tell them yes or no. I will not do that. I will not do that anymore. And then later on, I understood you are too attached of being loved and recognized and by everyone. It's anyway not going to work. It's anyway full illusion. No matter how good you try to be, you will always have people who will not be happy with you and who will be against you. So then I reverse. I say, let's go through the experience and accepting that people will not, that devotee might not love me, and just accepting, but I do it as a service. This is my service. So I do it for Krishna, and no matter if they will love me or not, this is not up to me anyway. So that was actually a very eye-opening, because sometimes due to false ego we often try to do everything so that everyone will love us, but that's not what we want. What we want is to please Guru and please Krishna. Of course we want to please the devotee as much as possible, but we should not be afraid that maybe someone will not love us. That's natural. And therefore we will stick nicely to the instruction of the spiritual master, to the instruction of the authorities, even if someone will not be happy with us. Of course we will do the best that everyone will be as much happy as possible, but to be free from this fear that maybe someone is not going to appreciate us. And then the last part of today, how to deal with this cheating tendency into our heart. And there are few ways. One is to pray, like we heard this prayer of Sridhar Swami. He's praying to the Lord, please remove this tendency from my heart, which is one of the most powerful and one of the most the best way that we can do, because those things are just so deep and so intense that we don't have much strength on our own. We need actually a lot of help from the spiritual master and from Krishna to remove those tendencies. But another point is introspection. We need to introspect, like those few examples I'm telling you now from my life. Is time when I introspect what's going on. Why do I suffer? What is happening here? What I'm saying? So with this introspection, you can see actually those cheating tendencies showing their heads up. And then you can pray nicely, because unless you see those things, it's difficult to pray for it. Most of the time we'll think, I'm all right. Is everything all right? So when we are introspective, we can see those tendencies coming up, and then we can pray to Krishna to help us to remove them. And another point that I found actually very, very interesting, it's connected to one of the main teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, give up the fruit of your action. And there it's also directly connected, because when the cheating propensity is there. We do the activity, but we have a wrong motivation. And when Krishna says give up the fruits, that means whatever you want to take for you in a cheating way, you don't take it for you, you give it to me. So he reverses. So this is actually a very nice homework that we can do of really meditating, of offering all the fruits we do for Krishna, of our activities. And Adipurusha Prabhu was giving a Bhakti Shastri course on Bhagavad Gita some months ago, was a little bit hammering on this point of giving the fruits to Krishna. And he had actually very nice insight. Like one of them was, as you go through the day, keep asking yourself, what do I want out of the service that I'm doing now? What is the fruit I'm looking for? I'm cleaning pots, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm teaching yoga. What is the fruit? What do I want behind? And then you offer it to Krishna. So that's also introspection, to find out what do I actually want? What is actually my motivation? And you can ask you 100 times the question during the day as you do so many things. And then when you get it, if the answer is to please Krishna, great, go for it. And if the answer is something else, and some of this recognition of or desire to be appreciated and loved by others, no. You turn it back. No. Krishna, I offer you the fruit. And another thing he was saying is, you can pray to Krishna, you tell to Krishna, okay, Krishna, if I get the fruit or not, I don't care. Okay, maybe I have a wrong desire, I have a wrong motivation. If I get it or not, I don't care. Ultimately, it's for you. That was another way he was giving. And what he was saying is so nice, because in Bhagavad Gita, you have to renounce the fruit of the action, but it's not just like you throw away in the garbage the fruit. No, you give it to Krishna. So it's actually much nicer. It's actually very sweet. Actually, we turn it to Krishna. Another way, actually, a few verses of in the same chapter, I think, was coming the point of I'm not the doer. And then he was saying, in this situation, then it becomes much more easy to give up the fruit. When you understand you are not the doer, so then it's clear you don't deserve, the fruit do not belong to you if you are not the doer. So it was very nice to see how everything is combined in the Bhagavad Gita step by step, and how everything is helping us actually to come to this proper motivation of being free from pretense and really trying to do it for Krishna. Another interesting, inspiring point is, we were reading when we were driving back from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there was this verse quoted from Bhagavad Gita where Krishna said, I am the ability in men. It struck me, and I thought, actually all good that I'm able to do is because Krishna has the ability in men. Actually, I cannot take much as my credit. That's his ability that I'm able to perform. So that I found also very, very helpful to come down from this role of showing up how good we might be. No, it's not me. It's the ability of Krishna going through me. Okay. So at the end, all those roles or cheating propensity is to get this pad, profit, adoration, distinction, and the way is we want to get it in the right place. We don't want so much profit and adoration, but the love that actually we need, the urge of being loved that we have in the heart, we should direct it in our relationship with Radha and Krishna, our relationship with the Guru, and our service. It's actually, this whole will be fulfilled by an attitude of service and attitude of pleasing others, without the cheating tendency of wanting our own agenda. Okay, I'm pleasing you, but I want you to please me back, or I want you, then maybe you give me this later on. I'm pleasing you because maybe you will do something in the other direction. So that's what I wanted to say for today. There is another way to deal with deep anarthas, and maybe I can ask the pujaris to kindly close the door, if the door is open, because you can hear quite strongly. Maybe it's closed. Anyway, another way that is there to help us to deal with those strong things is Krishna Lila, the pastimes of Krishna. Do you know that Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained that all the demons that came to attack Krishna, they represent some anartha. And that's interesting, you don't find that in scriptures before Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And one of the explanation is Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about that because he wanted that those who hear about Krishna would find the relevance. There is a relevance. It's not just hearing about some pastimes, especially for us devotee, we like to hear of pastimes. But for people in general, when they hear about the Leela of Krishna, they might not be able to relate to, and there might not be some value, they might not find a value in their life. Therefore, very carefully he studied those pastimes and found out what type of anarthas the pastimes are touching, and then explain that those pastimes will remove some of the anartha. And for duplicity, it's or dishonesty, duplicity, deceptive behavior, hypocrisy. This is Bakasura. Do you know Bakasura? Yeah. He was in the form of a crane. So this lila happened when Krishna was actually very young, and he started to play his flute. And the flute became his dearest musical instruments. And he was playing flute so beautifully that the gopis were saying, how is that? How is amazing? Your lips, Krishna, your lips that before were tasting the milk of Mother Yashoda is now tasting the pleasure of playing with the flute. Which guru taught you how to play the flute? They were asking. Now, in the meantime, in Mathura, Kamsa was extremely depressed. He just understood that Vatsasura, the previous demon, had been killed, and he felt unconscious. This is from Gopal Champu, Jiva Goswami. He always explains what's going on in the mind of Kamsa when the asuras are killed. So he fainted unconscious, and then some of the assistants said, don't worry, Kamsa, let's send Bakasura. And then Kamsa said, oh yes, Bakasura, he's my very friend. Bakasura will do it. So they sent Bakasura, and Bakasura went to hide in the forest of Vrindavan, and he was totally motionless. So one morning, all the cowboys, they were nicely fed, they entered the forest of Vrindavan. I think they were still quite young, they had still calves with them, and they were playing their flute, it was very melodious. Then they came to a pond, a reservoir of water. The cows were eating the soft sprouts of grass. They took baths, and then they decided to pick up flowers to decorate each other. So there was a beautiful tree, and they were stretching themselves to pick up the flowers. And then they saw behind the tree there was something unusual that looks like a mountain, like a huge hill. And they wonder, are we in a place we do not know? Or did this mountain come? And this is the place we know, but the mountain came. What's going on? And one of the boys say, this might be a demon. I can imagine that could be a demon in the form of a crane. So like a baby snake approaching a frog out of curiosity, the boys started to approach this huge demon. Beautiful analogy, huh? Like a small snake approaching frog out of curiosity. The boys started to approach that asura, and then the asura saw them coming, came up and follow Krishna. And the boys were just like totally finished. They were crying, they were fainting, and Krishna in the throat became hot, very hot, very hot, that the demon had to disgorge him. That's a polite word. and Krishna came out like a small lion coming out of a cave. He came out of the throat of the demon, and there was not any saliva or any dirty things. He was very beautiful. And then Krishna went to his friends and told them some sweet words so that they would wake up from their faint. And then Bakasura tried again with his beak to get Krishna in his beak. And then Krishna took the two sides of the beak and bifurcated him, splitted him in two, like a child would do with a blade of grass. He did that with the demon. And then there was a Malika Pushpa, a flower of Malika flower, a rain of Malika flower then falling from the sky. The demigods were just, wow, Krishna, so nice, so nice, so nice. And then the boys were just so excited. They all ran back to Vrindavan, and the boys, they came to their mother, and they were trying to explain what happened, and it sounded so sweet. And but they were all perplexed. Oh no, another demon came, and Mother Yashoda said, "No, Krishna, I will not let you go out anymore to the forest. It's just too dangerous." And then Krishna said, no, mother, it's all talks. We all say that, but it's not really true. You can let me go into the forest. So that's little pastimes connected to this duplicious. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, by hearing those pastimes, meditating on that, it has the power to uproot those anartha into the heart. And the crane is also, Guru Govinda Swami will give this example of the crane is standing very straight on one leg in the water, seems to be like very deeply in meditation, but he's actually looking for fishes, and as soon as a fish comes, he is going. So externally he's like very renounced, but he is ready to kill. So therefore, this example also connected to duplicity. So we'll stop here, 8:45. I don't know if you have any questions, any comments. Yeah. Maybe. I was the one who forgot the microphone in my bag, so I was depriving everyone from the microphone. Yeah.
Is it not possible that sometimes you have to cheat a little bit to not hurt somebody? Maybe you can call this positive cheating or something like this.
Yeah, we'll try as far as possible to not go into it, but if it can protect the life of someone, or if it can avoid a lot of suffering, sometimes the best is to remain silent. The best is to remain silent. But in some case, it can be a good. What we speak today is mainly, we do that for our own recognition, and this is really the one we want to avoid. But it can be that sometimes hiding something might be good for the benefit of someone else.
Sometimes doctors have to cheat if they know, for example,
a
person has not very long to live, but still have some time quality life, and it's better not to say this.
Yeah, sometimes it can be like this. But for example, there is this example when Krishna left the world, all the Pandavas were very fearful, but some of them did not know. They noticed there are very bad omens, but they did not know Krishna has left the planet. And then Vidura came, and Vidura knew that Krishna had left, but he did not say anything. He felt bad news better to not say. They will get to know it in other way, but I will not be the one. He could have come and said, "Hey, do you know what? Krishna has left this world, how bad it is." But he preferred to remain silent. instead of giving bad news. And I always felt that that's amazing, actually. We are so prone and so habituated as soon as there is something bad to blah, 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 oh, this, but no, actually, Vidura show, keep silent when things are bad, unless you are in position of that you have to take decision of things. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay. I was wondering this.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah, so if it's again with the proper motive, because what really brings the cheating propensity is the wrong motive, is the proper agenda for yourself. This is actually really the cheating. If you do it really for the benefit of someone, then it's different. Yeah. Anyone else? You want to give her the microphone?
No?
Yeah, for the kitchen devotees.
You were saying that it's not much of it's a part of the conditioned soul. I think there is this original envy. So we didn't want to be with Krishna. So, but it's something so you say connect with us in conditioned souls since lifetimes. We are still here now. It means so this time we did it for millions of lifetimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems something that is, we cannot do it on our own. We cannot try all those things, also just knowing how to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you are giving some, introspective.
And this is actually very, very interesting, because we are conditioned since so long that we think this is us. And sometimes we think actually honesty is to be who we are. So because we are conditioned, we think, okay, to just act in a conditioned way, this is honesty. But this is actually not and it's just so subtle. It's just so extremely subtle. It's really, really, after years and years and years of practice, you come to check out those things. You just, most of the time, we live in our world where we think, this is me, this is how I am, this is all right.
In one sense, it is. Yeah.
Sorry, Paul. We take you for the...
Yes, that one I can follow, because in one sense, like you said...
I think it's... no, it's off. Yeah.
No, at least not.
Yeah.
Yes. In one sense, yes, that is true, because even our nature, let's say, varna, ashrama kind of nature, is in one sense a reality. It may not be the absolute reality, but this is what we are. And our service would be the easiest done if we are not. It would be a way of cheating, let's say, if I look like some Satriya, some wrestler, American or Russian wrestler, but I decide, wow, I'm going to become a pujari or something, might be more engaged. You understand?
Yeah,
so there is a certain nature, and I would say you would have to go with that nature.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would also be a form of cheating.
Yeah.
But I think it's the point, like you said, that we should. For what are we doing? The motivation. That's the main one. I had something on simplicity, because as devotees we're supposed to be predominantly in the mode of goodness, and I believe it's a Brahminical quality if you are just straightforward. But then the question might arise, you may have answered it already, I don't know, but is there space in the International Society for PC, for political correctness? Maybe you can answer that.
Yeah, actually, I was hoping for this question, and I was ready to actually bring it out if because I think that's a quite of an important one,
Yes.
because I hope actually what I thought was you correct me if I'm not fully right on the question, but I mean I understand in what you say that. We should be honest with our position, our abilities, and position ourselves according to our abilities in this world, according to Varnashram Dharma, and not just think Brahmana are the best, so I will be a Brahmana and I go for it even if I'm not so much into this. But what I think is sometimes problematic is on the point of honesty, we think we can just be ourselves and just bang on others' head. Or, I'm honest, Prabhu. I will tell you what I think of you,
Yes.
and blah 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 blah. And you, so this I think it's the danger because we are conditioned souls, and we have this fault-finding mentality. We have envy in our heart, so we might think actually on the name of honesty. Let me. I'm honest. I'm straightforward, Prabhu. I'm telling you what I think of you, but that's apparat. That's apparat. So that's very dangerous, actually. On the name of honesty, we use honesty to secure or to back up our offending others. So there is actually quite of a danger. We can do actually quite severe apparats like this, and there we have actually two ways to go with that. One we have to learn to deal with this envy and fault-finding nature and trying always to see the good of the person. In Simalachalam, there was a time in the kirtan, anytime I opened my eyes, I would see people, devotees, and every time I will pass judgment. Oh, this one is like this. Oh, this one is like that. Oh, look at this one. Oh, look at this one. I think, come on, what's that? What's that dirty mind inside of me? But you will not go to those people and tell them. You know how embarrassing to tell them like this. So we have to filter out: is it our bad nature? Is it our conditioned nature, our envy, our false ego, who want to put the other down? Now trying to be honest, or but if there is something that needs to be said because there is a mistake or something like this, then this needs to go through Vaishnava etiquette. This needs to go from the authority of the person, or because not everyone is, let's say, friendly with Vaishnava etiquette or able to follow Vaishnava etiquette, at least with nonviolent communication. At least it needs to be done in nonviolent communication. Otherwise, it's just the mad elephant entering the garden.
Are there separate courses in this case?
We will have actually Jai Sachinandana will give a seminar on Vaishnava etiquette on the 25th of June. I don't know if you are still with us, but that, yeah. That's we had quite some thought on Vaishnava etiquette coming up in the previous verses of Bhagavatam, and he kindly proposed himself to come and give a seminar on that. So, yeah. Thank you. Okay, so we stop here. Thank you for your attention. Let's remember Krishna and Radharani, our Ishtadev, are here, and they have the power to remove those bad tendencies. So we should be introspective and observe them and check them out when they come up, and then we need to go to them and pray for help and for removal of that. And we can remember how strenuous and how painful it is actually to deal with all those games of trying to be seen as someone good and develop the desire to get rid of that. And that Krishna and Radharani gives us the power and the understanding and clarity that we can just be how we are, accept that we are conditioned souls, and just from there work slowly toward pure devotional service. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Karantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.